One who is vanquishing the business world. Elon Musk has turned into a cutting-edge industrialist. Some say that he is an outsider of our Earth, others say that he is a man-made reasoning robot. In any case, all things considered, Elon Musk an individual who took his coding abilities to begin building machines. A great many people don't understand that Elon Musk is a researcher indeed. Even his own companions ask him who is the boss specialist for SpaceX. Not understanding it is Elon himself. This video investigates how Elon Musk sees the world through a logical psyche and how his logical lifestyle powers his organizations. We investigate the two methods that Elon Musk utilizes to show himself new subjects and businesses, from getting books like a Soviet rocket manual that showed him rockets when he was beginning SpaceX to encircling himself with specialists and individuals working in the field that can show him the subjects he needs to get into. This is the motivation behind why he moved from Silicon Valley to so he could draw near to individuals working in the space business. Elon Musk is a researcher and physicist within, what's more, a specialist outwardly, so we will likewise investigate the thinking process behind physical science and the procedures that anybody can use to see the world. Elon Musk says that he moves toward things with a physical science system in any event, with regards to understanding that's what future saying, assuming you need to comprehend or anticipate what's in store. Then shift focus over to physical science. When Elon Musk was a youngster, he was terrified of the dull. However, at that point he comprehended that dull just implies a shortfall of photons in the apparent frequency. What's more, that it is senseless to fear an absence of photons. That is the means by which he saw and made sense of dimness to himself when he was only a kid. Also, Elon Musk does this with perhaps all that he ponders, separating all that even down to the central laws of physical science. Here are a few different instances of the various ways Elon Musk sees the world through the brain of a physicist and researcher while portraying schools in instruction. He says that learning is the downloading of information and calculations into our minds. What's more, that schools are making a terrible showing of it. So he began his own school on the Joe Rogan digital broadcast while discussing the birth of his child. Elon Musk thinks about the child to the work he has been doing on counterfeit knowledge and brain nets, saying that a simulated intelligence brain net is attempting to duplicate what a human cerebrum is doing. Furthermore, you can see it advancing rapidly like a child. With regards to joy, the condition is reality, less assumptions in portraying our method of thinking and utilizing gadgets. Elon Musk thinks about us to a working framework with transfer speed, expressing that while PCs can converse with each other at 1 trillion pieces each second, we utilize our thumbs to communicate with our telephones at 10 to 100 pieces. To that end, he began Neuralink to interface our minds to PCs. It very well may be the justification for why Elon Musk likes images to such an extent, since a ton of data gets passed along in only one picture. He even tweeted saying, "Who controls the images controls the universe." Elon Musk says that the best recommendation is to continue to contemplate how you could be improving and keep second-guessing yourself. What's more, he utilizes the designing term of making a criticism circle, where you take what you have done and change how you could be improving, as individuals will let you know what you need to hear, not what is ideal. There are two strategies that Elon Musk utilizations to instruct himself new subjects. One is through just getting books. Furthermore, the other is encircling himself with savvy individuals. We should first rapidly investigate how he has utilized books to shape the insight and fuel for the organizations he has constructed. At the point when he was a youngster, Elon Musk would peruse as long as 10 hours per day, saying he was raised by books. He even perused 2 arrangements of reference books, which gave a decent perspective on how various things could be associated. Elon Musk's proper instruction incorporates a degree in physical science and one in financial matters. There was additionally the PhD in material sciences and physical science that he exited from. However, his initially new businesses out of school were totally founded on him coding and programming. During the early days of the web, Elon saw a PC. Interestingly, at the point when he was 10 years of age, the main PC he got accompanied exercise manual examples on programming in a language called Essential, which would require a half year to finish. Elon kept awake for 3 days straight and completed the entire 6-month course. At the point when it came time to bring banking online, which Elon was dealing with when beginning X.com, which would later turn into PayPal, Elon didn't have a lot of involvement with banking, so Elon purchased a book on the banking industry to grasp how it worked. At the point when it came to beginning SpaceX, Elon would concentrate on a Soviet rocket manual. Furthermore, from companions he would acquire books like Rocket Impetus Components and the Essentials of Astrodynamics. What's more, he would read up for quite a long time. Elon Musk sorts out what he really wants to study with the goal that he can turn into a specialist and get begun chipping away at new tasks. This is a similar technique he utilized when he was a youngster in school. Elon didn't necessarily in every case get passing marks. Particularly in subjects where he proved unable to see the purpose in learning them, these eventual compulsory subjects such as Afrikaans. For those subjects he would work them least to get a passing grade, saying that he would prefer to spend his time playing computer games, coding or perusing books when it came to subjects that meant a lot to him. For example, material science and PCs. Elon would get the most elevated grade. He centers around concentrating on what is required here. Are a portion of the books that Elon Musk suggests. There is the Drifter's Manual for the World, a book called Start, which is about rockets, and the memoir of Benjamin Franklin by Walter Isaacson. One book that Elon Musk energetically suggests is called Structures, or on the other hand, Why Things Don't Tumble Down. This book gives a straightforward clarification of underlying designing terms in light of how everyday articles keep intact, which can incorporate anything from spans to eggshells, joins, or in the portrayal beneath. For those books, the establishment books are a science fiction series set in a future where human development is a spacefaring society. It is a book series that Elon suggests individuals read. He gained from perusing them that you ought to deal with things that will drag out progress and lessen the likelihood of there being a dull age. Elon's perspective about pushing mankind forward. Furthermore, doing what is best for humanity comes from books. What's more, not right through the establishment books. Yet in addition from perusing comic books at the point when he was more youthful, as the narratives in them were consistently about saving the world. Despite the fact that Elon Musk was raised by books and utilized them when he began to show himself new subjects, he was not reluctant to take care of business. What's more, sort things out by testing. For youngsters nowadays who are motivated by space and rockets, it wouldn't be so difficult for them to get their folks to go on Amazon. Furthermore, purchase a rocket unit that they could then, at that point, fabricate and send off. In any case, for Elon Musk experiencing childhood in South Africa, they didn't have the rocket packs that were accessible in the US, so Elon separated the pieces of the rocket pack and sorted out some way to construct his own, blending various synthetic compounds that would fuel his natively constructed rocket units. In his school days, to bring in some cash, Elon would sell PC parts out of his apartment. He would likewise fabricate laptops and fix issues. This developed his PC hacking foundation, as he was not reluctant to simply go sort things out. The second way that Elon Musk instructs himself about a subject in an industry is by encircling himself with savvy individuals, regardless of whether that implies moving urban communities. In the wake of selling PayPal, Elon Musk moved from Silicon Valley down to LA. This was on the grounds that LA would bring Musk nearer to the space business, which was the following experience that he needed to tackle. After PayPal, around LA you had associations that had set up their space endeavors, from Howard Hughes in the US aviation-based armed forces to NASA. They generally fostered a great deal of their aeronautical work here. This really intended that there were a ton of specialists that Elon could converse with. Perhaps the earliest thing Elon did was to join the Blemishes Society, whose objective was to choose defaces the general public previously had tests in progress and even had an exploration place in the icy through the general public. Elon likewise got to meet researchers who were dealing with defaces missions for NASA. Some of them would later become employed advisors that would educate and mentor Elon for his leap into the space industry. The books and being encircled by specialists is the way Elon showed himself the space business. It is the very technique that his cousins used to find out about the sun-oriented business. Elon's cousins endured 2 years contemplating sunlight-based innovation in the business. They went to occasions concentrated on research reports and talked with individuals, all prior to beginning Solar City, which Tesla later purchased. They utilized the very methods that Elon had used to turn into a master in the space business. As Elon Musk began to employ architects and construct SpaceX, the information the new workers brought would then get moved into Elon's own mind. These SpaceX workers would be specialists in their fields. What's more, Elon figured he could retain their information, which he did by testing each engineer about each particular piece of the rocket that they were dealing with. One worker said that Elon Musk would test you until he had learned 90 of what you realized. This made Elon Musk an aviation master past what the vast majority had seen. With regards to recruiting individuals for his organizations, Elon Musk encircles himself with the best individuals. He can do this due to the cutting-edge tech that he continues to push to grow. However, for somebody who needs to work at Tesla or SpaceX, they not just must be a specialist in their particular field, they likewise need to know how different parts on the machines they are building fill in too. Elon Musk anticipates that everybody should be a boss engineer. They need to have essentially a fundamental comprehension of how the entire rocket vehicle works. Since a designer has a profound skill in their specific area of the rocket or vehicle, they will not have the option to let know if the work That they are doing the thoughts what's more. The enhancements they concoct are to bring about some benefit for the item overall, except if they know how the entire machine works. Errors and configuration blemishes happen when individuals don't grasp the frameworks working in the entire machine. SpaceX enlists individuals who have been building actual things in their individual or expert life, no matter what their work position. Gwen Shotwell, who is the president and chief of SpaceX, has a degree in mechanical designing. Furthermore, an expert in applied math. Elon says that the vast majority of his time, around 80% of it, is on designing and plan, not media or, on the other hand, business-related things. It is Gwen Shotwell who handles the everyday activities of SpaceX. This lets Elon center around planning the rockets and rousing the designing groups. Elon states that the way to the president office ought not be through the money or, on the other hand, showcasing divisions. However, through the designing and plan. However, even the monetary individuals at his organizations have designing foundations. The CFO of Tesla has degrees in financial matters and mechanical designing and applied mechanics. Going on with Elon employing and encircling himself with the best. A few other outstanding notices. Remember, for 2011 SpaceX employed Garrett Reisman, a resigned NASA space traveler. Indeed, even financial backers accompany designing foundations. One of Tesla's most memorable financial backers was Bravery Value, who had some expertise in making fabricating more productive. The overseeing head of activities, Tim Watkins, was shipped off Tesla to chip away at the Roadster creation. Watkins has degrees in electrical designing and modern advanced mechanics. Everybody is a designer to comprehend and anticipate what's to come. Then, at that point, gain proficiency with the reasoning behind physical science. This is what Elon Musk exhorts individuals with regards to occupations later on. Furthermore, picking what to realize. Elon says that he attempts to utilize the apparatuses of material science, however much as could reasonably be expected, and that utilizing material science as a decent system for thinking, we should investigate the primary physical science rule that shapes Elon Musk's thinking. Prior we showed how Elon separated fearing the dull into its most fundamental components. Furthermore, this same perspective was utilized at the point when it came to building battery packs for Tesla and sending off his SpaceX business. It's called thinking from first standards. The thought isn't to pursue directions for model being terrified of the dim in light of the fact that others have expressed that there are beasts, be that as it may, rather separating it into the crucial bits of insight. There is only an absence of photons. When it came to beginning his own space rocket organization, the issue was that rockets were excessively costly. What's more, they have forever been like that. However, assuming you separate it into first standards, you then, at that point, ask yourself, what is a rocket comprised of? There is aviation aluminum combinations, titanium, a few copper and carbon fiber. You can't truly separate it any farther than that in the wake of separating a rocket into its most essential components. Elon asked himself, what is the expense of those materials on the item market? The expense turned out to be just 2% of the typical cost of a rocket. What's more, this additionally incorporated the expense of fuel. The motivation behind why rockets are so costly is that there are such countless organizations engaged with making the various parts of the rocket. What's more, each organization needs to create a gain for themselves. There are even organizations providing them. Organizations who are providing the parts. The expense simply continues, including breaking things down like this. Utilizing first rule thinking requires more noteworthy exertion as need might arise to grasp the subject on a profound level. In any case, you will wind up with improved results as you'll have the option to make new information and arrangements without any preparation. SpaceX is a cutting-edge rocket organization in light of the fact that they assemble their own rockets in-house, not depending on external providers. Elon's guidance is to take the place that to some degree you are off base. Also, you want to deal with being less wrong over the long run, attempt and anticipate the future, and afterward make changes in light of the blunders you find from your past expectations. Elon didn't believe that the exhausting organization would work. He said they were going to dig a passage also, that perhaps it will work or perhaps it won't. They wound up sorting it out as they came testing and revising along the way. Furthermore, their most memorable self-driving passage is practically complete under Las Vegas. Elon says that the hardest thing to do is to sort out what inquiries to pose, saying that once you have the right questions, then the most intelligent responses become accessible. A decent book for figuring out the nuts and bolts of physical science and understanding the thinking behind it is 6 simple pieces. The basics of material science made sense of by its most splendid educator. The connection is in the portrayal. In the primary piece, Feynman brings up that things should be learned exclusively to be untaught once more, or on the other hand bound to adjust it. Say that the meaning of science is that the trial of all information is explore. What's more, that creative mind is required, and it is key in concocting the thoughts speculations to explore different avenues regarding in the first place. This can be generally seen with SpaceX's public test dispatches as they continue to evaluate new things that pushes development in the space business, seeing what works, pushing until their models bomb intentionally, furthermore investigating ways on the best way to get to the next level.